Welcome to Geeks Plus Gaming. I'm LJ, and today we have the honor of checking out the Alters from 11-Bit Studios. Just a disclaimer here before we begin, we did receive a key for review. We are very grateful, and just want to remind everybody that because I do receive some keys for free to check out these games, I want you to know that these opinions are solid and that they are not swayed one way or the other when I do accept these keys. The opinions you see here are my own and not paid for in any sort of way. The Alters comes to us from 11-Bit Studios. You might be most familiar with these developers from titles such as Anomaly and the award-winning titles such as This War of Mine and Frostpunk. I'll be honest and say that I have little experience with the games that I have just mentioned, but I'm always down to broaden my horizons and step out of my comfort zone. My interest in the Alters grew as I saw early impressions from other creators who had a chance to get an early look at the game. Now that I have experienced the game for myself, I can say that I understand the hype, and I will be telling others to check this out, though it isn't my preferred genre. The premise is super interesting. You play as Jan Dolsky, a space miner who crash lands on a dangerous planet. It doesn't take long before you find out that you are the only one from your crew who survived. Without a crew, your last resort is to create alternate versions of yourself using a technology and resource that is extremely valuable to the corporation you work for. The main objectives of the game are to gather and manage resources, delegate work, take care of your crew, and craft technology that will help you survive every peril. Two core types of gameplay make up the Alters. The first is that you'll be in your spacesuit walking around on the planet to gather resources, build mining outposts, and other structures. Once the outposts are built, you'll need to build some pylons that connect to your base so that way the outposts can have power. This aspect of the game reminds me of Death Stranding. You'll also need to spend some time in your base. This has a 2.5D camera angle with each room being modular, enabling you to build new rooms and readjust them for better optimization. Think Fallout Shelter. You'll do a lot of your crafting here, whether it be making tools or cooking food in the kitchen. This is where you'll also be experiencing much of the dialogue, whether it be in the communication room or socializing with the other Alters. All of these activities will require you to keep an eye on your energy levels, which can have you gamble with getting some rest or pushing the boundaries to get some extra work done. While that covers the moment-to-moment gameplay, what truly makes the game unique is creating the Alters and how that affects the choices you'll make. Alters are created through the branching parts of Jan's life, from alternate timelines that could have been. They not only have special skills that will help you along the way, but talking with him gets into Jan's backstory and creates some standout moments that are both wholesome and tear-jerking that I will not forget. What instantly stood out to me about the Alters is the presentation. The visuals are stunning as you navigate the planet that is simultaneously desolate and dangerous. Liberties are taken inside the base as the sim-style gameplay doesn't need as much detail. But the tight corridors add to the immersion as I'm freaking out during some of the storms that make the whole thing shake and rumble. Some of the most important interactions take place within still images and in front of the comms screen, reminding me that this is still an indie game. Lastly, I want to give a shout out to the entrancing soundtrack, which rounds out the whole presentation. Like I said before, survival games and management sims are not my cup of tea. I usually go for shooters, action, and adventure. Occasionally I explore, and some games truly stand out. The Alters is one of them. Survival and management games stress me out as things begin to unravel, resources deplete, and my whole operation starts to crash and burn. That is the moment I nope out and never return. What redeemed the Alters for me is that a save is created at the beginning of an in-game day, and I can restart that day or even a few back and attempt to figure out what went wrong. There were a handful of times when things got hectic and I started to fumble, but I was able to pick up the ball thanks to that save system. This is a game I highly recommend if you're looking for something different. It may contain elements of games you've played before, but the agency and choice given to players will make the journey unique to anyone who picks up the controller. The alters you choose and the conversations you have might play out differently than someone else's. I have to wonder how wide the range extends, as you apparently won't see everything in a single run through the game, and you definitely won't grab every alter in your first run. The highest praise that I can give the alters is that it feels like the video game equivalent to Interstellar. I'm grateful for the opportunity to cover the game in this capacity, because I don't know if I would have checked it out for myself otherwise. As a reminder, I rate things on a 10-point scale, and so the alters gets a solid 8. I do highly recommend you check this game out for yourself. You can do that for the low price of $35, or if you still aren't sure about forking over the cash, you can check it out on Game Pass. If you made it this far, I greatly appreciate you checking out this video. Drop a like and subscribe if you want more Geeks Plus content.